Did you get that message about her being pregnant?
I did. I have some apprehensions of my own just because you guys did just meet. Your guys' relationship has been pretty tumultuous lately yourselves before you bring in another human for this.
You know what though? I really respect and like what his mother's saying. Okay, I really respect and like what she's saying, because what she's saying is what we've all been saying, that these two are not in a position where they should be having a child because they are not responsible. They still have too many things to work on before actually having a child. But the thing is, sometimes in life, advice has to come from certain people. People who have been a role model to you. And the problem is that when it comes to Brandon's mum, I don't think he's ever going to be in a position for a very long time to really want to listen to what she's saying properly, because she's a part of why he became the way he is. She's a part of why he makes choices that aren't exactly wise. Why? Because instead of raising the son, she was too busy off doing a madness elsewhere. And I feel like that just has to be addressed in this situation, because I feel like sometimes we forget that the message is only important based on who the messenger is. And that is a sad truth, right? Sad truth. But you know what the funny part is? If his mother had stepped up and raised him properly, then maybe Brandon wouldn't even be in this position. There's also that as well. But listen, enough of that. We now got Mary out here pretty much calling Brandon's mum a B-I-C-T-H. Like, wow, goddamn. It's crazy though, because when Mary said that, right, I sat there and I said to myself, but why do you think Brandon's mum is being like that if she's being like that? Do you not think that it's got something to do with you being one too? And you know what? Mary will never take accountability. She'll say a whole lot of kerfuffle, but never look at herself as being the actual problem. But with that being said though, welcome. We are back again with another MovingMAD video. And now let's get into it.
To break us up, and I don't have any reason to believe that her feelings have changed, because every time she's on the phone with Brandon, she's just ignoring me. She's always just being a bitch to me. If Brandon's mom trying to create a problem with me and Brandon doesn't have my back, I'll just not gonna marry him.
You see, calling Brandon's mom a B-I-C-T-H, talking about it, Brandon's mom's trying to create a problem with me, well then Brandon better have my back. It's interesting because the problem would be him actually defending you, to be honest with you. In a lot of situations, I would say, yes, I agree with what you're saying. A husband and a wife should always look to defend each other. But the problem is that in this situation, Brandon's mom is only the way she is because of you, because of how you have presented yourself in her eyes. And there's only one person to blame for how you've been presented. And that is you. You know, maybe Mary, if you didn't spend time trying to get Brandon away from his family, maybe this wouldn't be happening. But you know how Mary is. Mary always talks about things as if she's never had any impact whatsoever on the situation. As if it has nothing to do with her actions, nothing to do with her controlling ways. She thinks that people should just accept her and roll over and be nice to her whenever she feels like it. It's funny though, because you see, Brandon comes from a family where his mother wasn't really much of a good role model for him, and now he's in a position where he's with a woman who, it's not the matter of fact that she's not a good role model for him. It's a matter of where she just isn't good for him. You see that mother that wasn't a good role model, and now a fiance who's not good for him. Oh boy, that's crazy. Kind of feel sorry for the guy more. Hey, we continue.
Mary already feels sensitive about my mom's disapproval, and my mom is recovering from her addiction. Worst case scenario, I don't want Mary to get into a fight with my mom, and I don't want my mom to have some sort of excuse to relapse.
I didn't see this coming. You know, him thinking that, you know what's so crazy about it? So Brandon is worried that if his mom gets in an argument with Mary, then she may relapse. But Brandon wasn't worried about that before, when Mary was stopping him from seeing his mom and his siblings because of the fact that his mom lives with women and the fact that his sister has female friends. It's interesting how he now all of a sudden wants to care about that, when in before he was more than happy to do anything that was going to put his mom in a position where she would relapse. But let's talk about that though. The fact that Brandon still feels like his mom may be vulnerable, fragile to be relapsing is another reason why I go back to the point I made shortly a while back. And that point was, the message is only as strong as the messenger. And that's why when she says certain things, it's always going to go from here to here, because in Brandon's eyes, his mother has not her rehab process has not been long enough yet to stamp in his mind that maybe she's a better person, a stronger person, and she's never going to go back there again. And I don't blame him, because that would take years and years and years for him to trust, because the years and years of trauma that he has obviously endured has been deep as hell. But it is sad though, because his mum does give him genuine advice now. But I think that's the thing sometimes we have to remember. Just because somebody has gone through a path of them being weak as hell, it doesn't mean that their advice is going to be bad advice. Some people can still come along and give you great advice. In fact, they can give you advice to help you not fall into the same situation that they fell into. And even if they fall into it again, they just trying to give you that so you don't do it too. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why even though the message is only as strong as the messenger, it doesn't mean that we should ever not listen to someone who isn't viable for them for the message, if that makes sense. I don't know if viable was a freaking word, but we continue.
Oh, this is Mary.
Nice to meet you.
Hug.
Why are you so white?
What do you mean
You've
here?
been here for like ever.
I want to have a fresh start with her, but I feel like she's not willing to, because Brandon told her hug each other and just like change the topic.
The look in her eyes, it's that look that I recognize when you don't like someone and you're just pretending to be nice. And behind closed doors, she's going to make my son's life a living hell. And now they're going to be raising a child. I just don't trust her.
Already, I feel out of place, and I don't know what to say. The way she looks at me, like she's so mean, like a mean girl.
Wow. Talk about let the games begin. Straight away, first initial meeting, and they're already eyeing each other up. Already judging each other's body language, already judging each other's actions, vibe, the whole shebang. Which, listen, what did we expect? But I tell you this though. Let's talk about being a good role model. Let's talk about trying to be the bigger person. Sadly for Brandon's mother, she needs to be the bigger person because she's the one that has done wrong, and she's the one that has to learn to gain her son's trust. So if you ask me personally, whether she likes it or not, the best thing that Brandon's mum could have done would have been to be as cordial as possible with Mary. The second that he said hug, she should have been like, yes, I'll give you a hug. But there's no hug. Okay? To be fair, he shouldn't even have said that. She should have been over there, boom, boom, boom. But I get it. I understand. It's not that simple, and I understand. But if you want to gain your son's trust that you have traumatized, the best thing you can do is just be as cordial as possible with the person that he loves, or the person that he wants to be with, the person that he's willing to dedicate his life to, and that is clearly his life with Mary. But to do that, mom has to try harder. I know. I shouldn't necessarily be putting the blame on the mom or putting the pressure on the mom or whatever, but I'm just saying that in this situation right here, right now, if Brandon's mom can prove to him that Mary's the wrong person for him, well, how can she do it best? And that is by being as cordial and as being as happily fake as possible, showing that she's the one making efforts and it's not Mary. Because at the end of the day, right now, Mary's the one who's got the upper hand, where she can be in Brandon's ear talking about, your mum didn't even want to hug me. She made no efforts. She was just giving me looks like a mean girl. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes being the bigger person is for the greater good. But hey.
As far as me and Mary having some sort of good relationship, that's not happening. And I refuse to walk on eggshells around anybody. So if I see their way of life or their relationship is going to be destructive, I will say what I need to say.
You know, all I can say is this: roll on freaking next week. So hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys here next week. Well, I mean, I'll see you tomorrow in other videos that I make, you know what I mean? But you get the gist. Yeah. Peace.